clicked on the link, right? So I'm taking it. You just got proposed to, or you're in the process of planning a wedding, right? Or you just thinking the what ifs and things if one day you get married. Either way, I'm here to give you some tips. So I'm Rainbow. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and of course share. So we're gonna get right into it. Planning a wedding, it can be tough, right? All the things that you have to think about on top of enjoying your day. So I'm gonna try to I might have to break this up in two parts, but I'm gonna give you some tips. Myself, I am married. I just got finished doing a wedding. When I say I'm tired, I'm tired. But I wanted to make this video to help some couples or brides, wedding parties, or whomever to have a successful day. So let me get right into it. One of the number one tips I would say is to budget. Budget, write out a budget, right? It doesn't matter if your budget is $1,500 or your budget is $5,000 or $50,000. You should know what to expect and how much you're spending on your wedding instead of just as things come along that okay, they said it was this price, so I'm gonna go ahead and pay that. Or oh, dang, I only got enough for this, so I don't know how I'm gonna do this part of the wedding. So to have a budget in mind, you can do a little bit of research to get an idea of the prices. You know, talking to different vendors and stuff like that that you're gonna need, so you can have an idea of each portion of the wedding that you're gonna have. What are the expense going to be, down from the food to invitations to the venue to the chairs and the linen and decorations and flowers, right? Stuff like that. Also, another thing to think about would be the time of year and your location. So if you're getting married in Hawaii in September, what does that look like? If you're getting married in Jamaica in December, what does that look like? If you're getting married in Utah, in February, what does that look like for you? The year, the season, the month, and the location makes a difference in what you're gonna put on. What type, can it be an indoor, outdoor event? Are you going somewhere where it's always rain, always cold, always hot? You know, the guests, thinking about you, that's the next thing, your guest list. Are you inviting everybody that you know? Like Miss Sally, that was your next door neighbors for when you was 5 years old and she used to babysit you. Are you inviting her? Are you inviting your great aunt that you've never met before, but because that's your mom's favorite great aunt, she wants her to come to see her baby get married? So thinking of your guest list, how many people are you willing to provide for? You have to mentally think that every person is a dollar amount. It sounds bad, but it's the honest truth. Each person, that's a chair, that's a plate, that's a fork, that's a spoon, that's a knife, that's a cup, that's a glass, that's the food, that's the drinks. If you're providing alcohol, if you're going to give a thank you card too, that's an invitation. Each thing costs having each person there. So are you going to do an intimate wedding with just maybe 20 to 50 guests? Or are you going to go kind of mid to 60 to 80 guests? Or you're doing it big? You want 100 plus guests there. Think of the cost. And remember that budget we just talked about. So how does all these people fit in within your budget and everything that you want to do? Another thing to think about is your invitations. We're in a new age, it's 2023, so everybody isn't mailing out invitations. Now, that is something that some people do, but as again, that is another cost, getting postage stamps, versus a lot of people now are going digital, whether they're sending out mass emails or they're coming up with wedding websites to, connect with, so everything is right there and they'll know. And a lot of those sites that you can use for free or for a low fee that can help you out. Or some people, they even coming up with group texts, group messenger, different things to eliminate that. But that's something to think about is the cleanup. So depending on what type of wedding you're having, don't assume that your guest is going to clean up because that's your best friend or that's your new sister-in-law, that, oh, they like us like that, they're going to help clean up. Also, don't assume that the venue that you're using is responsible for the cleanup. So that's something important to think about. Who will be doing the cleanup after everything is done and over with, and you decide to get in the car, which your new Mr. or Mrs., and all this stuff is left behind for who. So that's something to think about on the back end of things. Who will be doing the cleanup? And since we're on the back end of things, I'm going to get into who will be the designated person or persons to handle all of the things that go home, that are to come to your home, whether the centerpieces, your bouquet, you probably had to change your outfit, so who's going to handle the wedding dress and your shoes, different stuff like that, the gifts that you've received, the cards and different stuff like that. And a lot of people now, they save a slice or a tier of their wedding cake for their 1 year anniversary. Who is responsible to making sure that you get that cake to your house so you can wrap it up real good, put it in the freezer and such things like that. Just did a wedding, and my sister-in-law, her necklace, she had a necklace that she's been having, and she's a person that holds on to her jewelry pieces. I mean, nobody wants to lose jewelry, but she's like, I can't find my necklace. I took my necklace off when I was getting ready. Where is it at? So having a designated person that has your personal belongings and your gifts and sentimental things that you need to make sure they get back to you without being damaged or missing is important. If you have children and you're going on a honeymoon directly after the wedding, who will be keeping the kids? Or even if you're not going on a honeymoon and you just think, hey, I got married tonight, I don't want the kids here, who's going to keep the kids for the night or two so you can enjoy your new spouse? Those are things to think about. Don't wait last minute. That at the end of the ceremony, everybody kind of looking at each other, okay, what are we going to do with the kids? Make sure you have a designated person that you have as well in enough time within your planning. I would say literally at least ask them the month before, because if you had asked them last minute, right at the wedding, mentally they done already planned out, hey, I'm going to the wedding, when I come home I'm going to relax XYZ, and then they got to sit here and take care of some kids. So that's something important to think about. Okay, that's good to think about is your transportation. And when I say transportation, that could be for your wedding party. How are they coming to, if you say you got them staying in a hotel, then it came from out of town and they're staying at a hotel, and maybe your venue is not at the actual hotel that they're staying at and they have to travel. How are they getting to and from? Are they responsible for the transportation or are you? Also, with dealing with transportation, same thing for you. How are you getting to the ceremony? And if your ceremony is at a different location than your reception, how are you getting to and from both places? And at the end of the night, how are you getting, whether home or wherever you're going, once you leave that reception, how are you getting there? So that's something to keep in mind. Also, I would say a day of coordinator is a good idea. And it doesn't have to necessarily be somebody that, you actually hire. It can be a mom of a friend, it could be a sister-in-law or someone. But I will say, when using a friend or a family member, do think of the aspect of, if they are the day of coordinator, they're not going to completely be able to enjoy the wedding themselves, of interacting like everyone who's just guests at the wedding, because it's more of a job to them to make sure XYZ goes on for the day. So be mindful, if you do designate a family or a friend that you would prefer as a guest, not to have them as the day of coordinator. But maybe like I said, maybe one of your friends' moms who wasn't going to be a guest, but you know her, for a while, and hey, I know Miss Sarah, she's good at doing this, staying organized, being on time. Hey, can you ask Miss Sarah, could she be my coordinator for that day? I will need her for X amount of hours. And also, think of, if that's somebody that you're just taking on as that's just close to you or whatever the case may be, doing something really sweet for them because you're not hiring them, you're not paying them, that it can be a complicated job in all reality. Um, Also, something to think about would be make sure you have comfortable shoes, right? So, for the brides that's wearing heels, do you think you're gonna be good in those heels from the time you put them on to the time you walk down the aisle to the time that the end of the ceremony? Now, unless you're just one of them girls that can do it, I still would suggest, even if you're a heel type of girl, that's a lot of hours. That is at least a good 6 to 8 hours in some heels. Make sure you have some comfortable shoes, whether it's some slides, some flats, slippers, something. You can get you some little nice cute shoes. Even some brides nowadays are wearing flats under their dresses because the dress is so long and you can't see their feet. So they just wear flats the whole time because they don't feel like wearing heels. And some girls aren't heel wearers.
Some people are even wearing sneakers under their dresses because, again, you can't see them. So make sure you get you some comfortable shoes.
I personally just did a wedding, like I said. I wore flats the entire time. I wore some heels, never wore them. Wore flats. By the end of the day, my feet were barking. They were done. Why? Because I had been on my feet from 7 o'clock in the morning to 11 something that night dealing with the wedding. When I say I came home limping, I was limping like a granny because these feet were tired. Like I didn't want to see a shoe, no nothing, and I had flats on. So imagine wearing heels all day, right? Make sure you have somebody that is having a emergency bag ready for you as a bride, or even a groom. And when I mean emergency bag, little things happen. You think maybe, I'm sure you're probably wearing a white, cream, off-white type of dress, light colored. So is your spouse, and you're eating. You have a lot of people that's coming up to you, that's touching you, hugging you, and stuff. You got a face full of makeup on, and you're moving around a lot. You're sweating. So there will be times where you might find little, and then your dress dragging. So you're gonna have little stains that may come up on your dress, and you might ain't took your pictures yet. So you might need to touch up little spots here and there to make sure that you don't have those show up in your pictures, or you just don't want to walk around with little spots all on your outfit. Also, you may cry, your makeup may run, you might need to touch up your makeup. Also, little floss, little mouthwash because you're doing a lot of talking and people all up in your personal space probably more than what they normally would be in. Deodorant, perfume, even some feminine wipes, hairpins for your hair. You're dancing the night away and maybe that hair isn't as secure in that updo as it was when you was in hour 2 versus now you're in hour 5. Also, what else can I think of? Safety pins. Maybe you popped a button, zipper done came broke. Different things like that that will be helpful. Whether you put it together and let someone hold it, hey, they can put those comfortable shoes in that bag as well. Also for the grooms or given, I have a wife, I would say for the masculine presenting person or whoever's wearing a collar shirt, whether it's one of the boys, like I said, they may be wearing a white shirt and, little stains around the neck started coming, armpits started to get sweaty. Buy 2 shirts. Get an extra shirt. Or maybe he doesn't want that tie and all that on for the entire night. He might want to loosen up after the pictures and at the reception and stuff. So make sure he has an extra shirt, to get out and changed in if need to be. So.
Give me some tips, right? Is this sounding like it can help? Or I'm rambling. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, so earlier I was telling you about the weather. So the morning of my sister-in-law's wedding, it was raining. Mind you, it rained the day before, and I'm like, oh Lord, I got to move all this stuff. Please don't let it rain. And even my father-in-law, he was like, do you think y'all need to get her an umbrella? I called her. She was like, she had one. So prepare for the weather. Think of the bride especially to make sure she's looking her best at all times. Like I said, whether it's very hot outside and y'all having an outside wedding. Also think about your guests as well, that if you're having an outside wedding and it's 95 degrees outside, that everybody cannot deal with that heat, whether, health issues and just the heat itself. Nobody needs to be in that type of heat for so many hours. So think about that as well. If you need ponchos, umbrellas, um, I don't know, a tent, whatever you need to make sure we got that weather. We can't help what Mother Nature gonna do out there. She's gonna do what she want to do, but try to be prepared. Look at your forecast for the next week, during that week, to make sure you know what's going on for the most part. Now sometimes you get a little unexpected. It was like, nah, they didn't say nothing about no rain, where it come from. You can't help that. But try to stay on top of it as much as you can, okay? Another thing to emphasize, make sure that you have a wedding rehearsal. Now I know nowadays a lot of people, they do it all big. They have a big wedding dinner. They dedicate. Don't have to do all that if you don't want to. If you want to, go right ahead. But make sure you do a rehearsal. And I will honestly say, plan your rehearsal for at least 2 hours to make sure that you go over it and over it, especially with the little kids. Sometimes they don't catch on. And even still, with the 2 hours, they probably, depending on how old they are and what type of child they are, they still may not catch on. But you want to be sure of everything. And make sure within the rehearsal that every person that is in the wedding party, which bride, the grooms, flower girls, ring bearers, best mans, groomsmen, bridesmaids, maid of honor, all of them, if you're having them, will be at the rehearsal. Make sure that each person goes over the rehearsal twice at least, maybe three or more, but at least twice, to make sure that every person has a understanding of what is going on within the ceremony. So when they come, the adults at least got it together. We could be a little lenient on the babies, but the adults, we want to try to have it together as much as possible, okay? Another thing to think about will be sleeping arrangements. So it depends on each couple. Do you already live with your soon to be bride or groom? Or y'all live separate? Y'all be planning to spend the night and stuff? The night of, you know. So the night before the wedding, night before, you need to figure out who is sleeping where. Because, once that hair done, the nails done, that nice haircut, trim, and all that good stuff, you want to try to stay away. So make sure, however you're going to plan it, maybe one person's going to sleep at a bestie house or siblings or a parent house. Make sure y'all have y'all sleeping arrangements in order. Make sure whoever is the one leaving has everything they need. And if need to be come back, you better go ahead in the room so they won't see you, okay? So make sure y'all get those arrangements put together ahead of time of who's sleeping where. Also, trying on your items, whether bride, groom, best man, flower girls, whoever. Make sure that you try everything on the week of the wedding. And I say that because if some people, they get their stuff done and ahead a good amount of time, way ahead of time, and that you might have tried that on a month ago. Who's to say? Hey, a button might have came off somehow. You lost a little weight, gained a little weight, or you forget to get a certain you've been putting it off for some time, and you were supposed to get a certain alteration done, and you was holding off, and you might have forgot because you're gonna got busy with the wedding planning. So now it's the week of. It's better to try to know Monday or Wednesday that you need to get those pants hemmed before finding out the day of. So I would say make sure you try on your outfit the week of. your wedding or the week before, somewhere in between there, to make sure that you have enough time that if there's any alterations that need to be done, you can get them done and get it back in a timely manner, okay? Good thing to think about and plan ahead, not last minute. Who gonna do your nails? The design you want, because people sometimes think that, okay, I go to this nail person here, and I go to this nail person there. So between one of the two, they'll do my nails for the wedding. Within my sister-in-law getting married to get her nails done, the place that she normally goes to, the person was intimidated on doing her wedding day nails, right? So that's what you normally go to. They can't do them. Then I think the next person was booked or something like that. Then she went elsewhere, and they didn't. I don't think they did them the way she really wanted them done. The shape wasn't what she really wanted, but she settled. It's your wedding day. If your nails don't pop any other day, that's the day you want them to pop, because think of, if you're doing a lot of your photos, you would be taking pictures with your hands and your significant other hand showing off your ring, and you want your nails to look nice, right? So you want them to look the way you want them to look. You don't want to look back later on, my nails wasn't supposed to look like that, but because I can't get XYZ to do them, I had to settle with NOP, and they didn't do a good job. So make sure you scout out your nail person ahead of time, at least a month ahead, so you can figure out what it is, if you need to change the design, to make sure that will also, if your nail tech isn't a person that does a lot of freehand art, they can practice. You can give them that picture. They have time to sit here, and practice. Me doing nails myself, there's things that I'm not comfortable with doing. I know me personally, I don't really like copying other people's work, just for the simple fact I just don't like doing it. Like, I like to have my own ideas. Now you can show me a picture to give me ideas. I'm more of, okay, you tell me your color, your length, maybe your shape, and give me some pictures to give me an idea of what area to stay in, because some people don't do a lot of designs. Some people like only wear French tips, which I don't like doing French tips. Like my wife, she like, well, I can't just have French tips. I'm like, that's blah, it's plain. But some people, that's just my preference. And my wife get on me. She was like, well, you supposed to do what the people want. I don't work for anybody when it comes to nails, so me being my own boss when it comes to that, I can accept or turn down who I want to turn down. Luckily, when it comes to that, that's just me. Also, your hairstylist. Same thing with the nails. Depending on what hairstyle that you're getting, you know, you have to think about, for the most part, usually the hairstyles that most people wear for the wedding day isn't a typical hairstyle that they will wear on a normal or regular day basis. So take an account for, do you need to be putting a certain type of product in your hair? Are you getting your hair colored? Do you need your ends trimmed? Are you going to need extensions, or are you going to need certain hair pieces and stuff? So talk to the stylist, because maybe this is something different for them. Bless me, y'all. Maybe this is something different for them as well. So make sure you talk to your stylist. Don't just assume this is the hairstyle that I want to wear on my wedding day. So this, when it comes to getting close to wedding day, I'll reach out to them the week or two before, set an appointment, and let them know what I want. No. Also, another thing with a lot of people who do work for brides on their wedding day, they feel like it's a lot of pressure to give their best work, because they don't want to be the one talking about that. Oh, she tore up the bride hair or the bride nails. So make sure you check out your hairstylist beforehand. Also, your cake testing. Make sure you do that, y'all. Like, depending on your budget, I know some people say they use a dummy cake for wedding day, and they use sheet cakes to pass out to guests. Which is fine, totally fine, not against it. But if you're gonna have an actual wedding cake that you're getting made by somebody, make sure you do some cake testing. One, it's fun and yummy, and I'm not even a sweets type of person. I don't really eat sweets. But when I went to my sister-in-law's, I definitely did enjoy tasting a cake. And the lady was from out her home. When I say she had her business booming, you can tell that's what she do. Cake tasted delicious. Okay, one more thing, your makeup. If you're hiring somebody to do your makeup, make sure you do a trial with them, because if they're not, clearly you see my skin tone, right? And not being funny, just being honest. If I was to go to I've never went to anybody to get my makeup done, FYI. I'm not really that big on makeup. I wear it here and there to be extra cute, whatever. But it ain't an often thing, so I do it myself.
Definitely, I don't know nothing about no contouring and highlighting and slinging my news and all that stuff. I don't know that.
Put stuff up there, little eyeliner, mascara, boom, foundation. Yeah, that's me. But if you see my skin tone, I'm dark, and in all honesty, my face is darker than the rest of my skin. Right? Let me see. I don't know if you can tell, but if I go to a Caucasian woman, and not to say she can't do my makeup, that's not what I'm saying. Yeah. But if she has only had Caucasian clients and have never worked on a dark skinned person, one, she may not have the colors that I need. Two, again, she may not know how to perfect my face in a way that another dark skinned person could or another African American could. Not to say that she can't, but I would rather go to her ahead of time so she can see my skin tone. So she can, if she need to go buy other materials for my skin tone, that she would have it. And she won't have me on wedding day with 2 shades darker skin or 2 shades lighter skin. You get what I'm saying? So, and that's for anybody. Make sure you go to your makeup person ahead of time. And also, not only for that reason, but because my idea of getting my makeup done may again, because I just told you, I don't wear all that contour and stuff and all that stuff. I don't wear blush. So my idea of makeup and your idea of makeup may be different. So you might go full fledged, like I'm darn gone, about to walk out of a magazine, and I might just want a little subtle, little light beat, right? So make sure you go ahead of time so your makeup artist can work with you ahead of time so that your day will be the way you want it to be. And they might also, amaze you because again, as you see, I wear glasses. I have tried eyelashes. I could count on one hand. And that I think the last time I did that, that was many years ago. I was with my son's father, so they'll let you know how long ago that's been. It's been a long time. So yeah. Also, oh, 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 so you see I'm dancing right. So I'm getting that. Make sure you try out your DJ, right? Don't think, oh, I just googled him up. Oh, he gonna be the perfect DJ, right? Now it depends on your style. Don't think because they're a club DJ, they can be a wedding DJ. Not to say they can't, but what you listen to in the club, right, may be different, which you might allow Aunt Patty to listen to for the whole night at your reception. You think of when you get in the DJ, what songs you might it might be some songs. Look, I do not care to hear this song. Like I can't stand that song. You may hey, I only want music that's clean. The radio version, not all that. You might not want that. So make sure when you scout out your DJ, give them a play the type of genre you like. Hey, make sure you mix it up, old school, new school. Want a little pop here, little rap here, a little house music there. A little alternative here. Whatever it is, a little salsa. Some people hey don't play nail line dancing song. Now, granted, when you thinking about your music, think it's not just for you. Yes, it's your wedding. Yes, it is. But think of your wedding as you having a party at your house. You're entertaining your guests. How would your guests be entertained? Now, you can't fully entertain everyone for every second. There's gonna be something that they're not gonna like. But try to think of everybody. Like I said, I handled the music at the wedding, and it was pretty much 99% African American. We had a couple Caucasians, and the groom's girlfriend, she's, I believe, Mexican. I believe. Don't quote me on it. Sorry if you ever see this. I think you're Mexican. Anyway, so hey, Rainbow, can you do me a favor? Can you please play this Latin song? Everybody knows the song. Oh, can you do that for me? Cool. It wasn't. I had my playlist put together already, but to accommodate her, why not? It's one song. Honestly, I think her and the groom were the only one that ever asked me out an entire time to play a certain song. That was it. So 2 song requests, who cares? Also, again, let the DJ do their thing somewhat because they know what's gonna hype up the crowd. They how to get the crowd on the flow. When to tone it down a little bit, pick it back up. Getting your photographer or whoever's gonna take your picture, let them know Because this might be their first time taking pictures. What are your important pictures, your must-haves? Like, look, make sure I get a picture with me and my mom and my siblings. Make sure I get one with my new in-laws, one with just my household, stuff like that. All right. So we're gonna stop it right there. So I feel like I gave y'all a lot of tips, right? I got so much more that I'm gonna go ahead and make this a part 2. Okay? I'm gonna go ahead and make a part 2 for this. So all those tips that I done gave y'all, I hope y'all took notes, right? And if not, I mean, you just go ahead, replay, push replay, so you can listen to it all over again, right? So y'all see, I was giving y'all plenty, right? So you go ahead, get your pen and your paper ready for part 2, okay? Thank y'all for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and of course, share.